Are you too old to animate at 31? No, not at all. That's young still, honestly. I know a lot of animators who are now currently working. Yoshi's story, Yoshi's Island PTSD. Yeah, that baby screaming in the bubble. Oh. Uh, I know a lot of animators who are working in the industry at big studios right now, Disney, Pixar, like that level studio, who started animating first time when they were in their 30s. Like they hadn't animated before, they started animating, they're in their 30s, they get a job at a studio. Yeah, you're gonna have less time in your career than if you started when you were 18, but you're still gonna do it. As long as you do that active learning, you're pushing yourself to improve on your faults and not just like, I'm learning animation. I did a bouncing ball. Okay, but what did you learn about that? Can you answer that question? You need to be able to answer why you're doing something. Active learning. If you can do that, no problem. I know people who started learning how to animate when they were in their 50s and 60s who got a job at major studios. Now, that's a lot rarer because you've got time and commitments. Honestly, the thing that keeps you from, like, it's not the age of that's stopping you from learning. It's the fact that the older you get, the more commitments you tend to get. So at 30, you might have a family, you might have a job, you might have kids that you have to take care of. That's less time than someone in their 20s who lives on their own, maybe doesn't have a family or girlfriend or boyfriend yet, any significant other. You're just free to do whatever you want. Or maybe you're even younger, 18 years old, still living at home, and you don't even have to go to work. You're living at home with your parents. So you can just spend all day just working on your reel, learning and learning and learning. Compared to someone in their 60s, that change in free time is huge. So that's the biggest hurdle. It is not the age. It's the time required to learn. That's it. When you go to a studio, the thing that's going to get you a job is your reel, not your age, not your resume. I was actually just in a talk with someone yesterday who was mentioning that he worked at DreamWorks, or sorry, Pixar? No, I forget. One of the big studios. My brain isn't working. Half an hour of sleep is not good for brain functions. So they work out at these big studios, and they hired someone as an entry-level animator who was 40 years old. Entry-level position. And that person did a great work. And now they're working in the industry. So yeah, it happens. That's not a problem at all. Age is not going to stop you from being an animator. And even though you might not become an animator who works in big studios and like all of that stuff, you can start a YouTube channel. You can work at small studios, small game studios even. Like small game studios, there's so many of them that work on really cool things. And honestly, a lot of people prefer small studios because it's more personal and more fun to work in. You don't get the credits and your name and lights kind of thing, but it's still fun. And if you love animation, a lot of times, like, keep in mind that you're still animating. You're creating the feeling of life from a puppet, a rig, and breathing life into them. That's amazing. Regardless of if you're working at a big studio or a small studio, you're doing something that's so much fun and getting to share that with a lot of really fun people too. So yeah, 31 is not too old. When I started, I was 24 years old. When I started learning animation, I thought I was like way too old. It's like, I'm done, beyond my prime. Why am I even starting this? There's people younger than me who are gonna like eclipse me. Why bother? Stupid young me. It's like, no, you're never too old. 24 is definitely not too old. I would laugh at my own face now if I walked up and said, "Am I too old to animate?" Like, you fool! Why? Why do you think you're too old now? I don't think I'm too old right now if I wanted to start learning. Long answer. See, this is tired brain. I take one answer that should have been answered in like, I could have literally answered that in one sentence or two sentences. You are not too old at 31 to learn animation. You can learn animation at any age. Done. We could have moved on to the next question. Moved on. All good. Did I do that? No. I decided to take a half hour